Hey y'all, it's your girl Janelle Aaliyah, and I just wanted to give you 2 tips to ensure that you receive what it is that God is trying to get to you, that you receive His provision, His blessing, whatever it is that He's trying to get to you. Tip number 1, receive it. Very sweet, short, and simple. Receive it. Sometimes we are asking God for something, and He'll send it through a person. And you know what we'll do sometimes? Even me, I've done it many times in the past, is we'll reject it. Sometimes you may have someone come up to you like, hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything? And you'll be like, no, I'm good, I don't need anything, knowing that you are in need, knowing that you were just praying, asking God to bless you with this or to bless you with that. Or you might be in conversation with somebody and you're like, man, things are tough, I was struggling to pay my bills. And they're like, oh, let me cash app you. And you're like, no, don't, no, keep your money. Do you know that we as believers, we are God's hands and feet in the earth? We are His mouthpiece. The Bible talks about present your body a living sacrifice unto God. And so sometimes when God wants to get things done in the earth, He will use us. So sometimes when someone is trying to bless you, they're being led by God. He is trying to get something to you through them. Over the past, I want to say 2 years, God has used people to answer my prayers. Let me give you an example. One time I was in need of car insurance, and I asked God for the money, right? I asked God for the money, and at the same time, I needed money because my church was going on a retreat, and I needed the money for that as well. So I prayed, Lord, if it's your will, please bless me with the money. I asked Him for the car insurance. This was all in the same day. You know what? The very next day, I was having a conversation with someone, letting them know, how things are going with my car, and, just having a normal conversation. And they said, oh, how much you need? Oh, pulled out their phone. I'm going to send it to you right now, and I'm going to send you extra to do whatever you want to do with it. Guess what, though? The extra paid for my ticket to the Strong Retreats. Oh, well, y'all didn't know that's what it was called, but to my church's retreat. And so had I turned that down, had I been like, no, I'm okay, I'm good, I don't want it, I would have missed out on the blessing God was trying to give me. I would have rejected His answer to my prayer. And many people do that. I actually used to do it all the time. It was a time I was unemployed, and baby, it was rough. And sometimes it was one particular person who would ask me, hey, what do you need? Do you need anything? Because they were willing to give it to me. And you know what I did? No, I'm okay. We good. We good. Does your daughter need anything? No, we all right. We good. Thank you for asking. Knowing that we had a need. God was trying to provide for us through that person. And so let's not reject when God is trying to bless us, when He is trying to get something to us. Then I would say tip number 2, find out what action step God needs you to take. Find out what He needs to do. Sometimes we're waiting on the miraculous. We're waiting on this random check in the mail, a random cash app, money in the street somewhere. We just waiting. It was time in my life. I also used to check the mail every day and call my aunt at my aunt's house. Did I get a check in the mail? She like, well, who is it coming from? I'm just hoping for a check in the mail. And so God is not always going to provide in that manner. Does He do it? Yes. But it may not be that way. You may need to take a step. God may need for you to do something that is going to lead to His provision in your life. Okay? For example, I'm thinking about the book of Ruth, and her mother-in-law, they had a need. Their husbands passed away, and they were returning to the mother-in-law's hometown. And I don't think they had anything. And so what Ruth did was she found out about Boaz, and she's like, hey, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to his field and see if I can find favor in his sight. And when she took that step led her into God's provision, into the abundance. This man was like, oh, pretty much like, I'm going to take care of you. Y'all, he told his workers of the field, let bundles of grain fall on purpose for her so that she can get it. And then he invited her to dinner. He did so much for her. And that was God's provision. But had she just been sitting at home waiting on a bundle of grain to fall out the sky, she might not have received it. And so, yes, God does do the miraculous. I'm not going to put God in a box and say he can't do it this way. But sometimes he requires you to move. He requires an act of faith. Okay? And so find out what God needs you to do. Oh, and actually, I'm going to share quickly. My friend told me about how it was a time when God instructed her to go talk to, I think he was like a radio host. She saw him in the market or something, and God is like, go talk to him. And so she obeyed. When I tell you, that led her to further connections, to getting an interview with a radio host. That led her to different things. And so sometimes when you're in need of God's provision, he's going to say, go do this. He might even tell you, like he told me, go do them Uber Eats and make you some money and stop sitting around waiting for a check in the mail. Okay? So those are my 2 tips. Hope this blessed you, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.